Okay, so this is a base that's about 100 hours in, and there's 3 people on the team. Mainly 2, but 3 people that live here, so keep that in mind for the size of some of the stuff that we're doing in the spacing is to accommodate for more than one person. I'm sure you could get away with much less solo, but we like this setup so far. So the first thing I'll go over here is the warehouse, and the big thing that I kept in mind here is with how at least how early it is in this game right now, the pathfinding isn't the best. So I made really tall ceilings. Definitely do that no matter what you do, in my opinion. But then also the big thing that I realized was um, the spacing of these assembly lines. I definitely made sure to keep it into like a U shape is what I found to be the most efficient just because of how the pathing of the pals are. Because I've seen a lot of people that do parallel, like, one right here, and then one over here, or whatever, and they clip into the pals clip into each other like really easily, even with a lot of spacing. So just this makes it easiest for them to just seamlessly, not have to worry too much about it. Have some storage over here. Had to build something over it because they like to climb on things and get stuck. So kind of have to make the bases foolproof for the pals as possible for how it stands. Then we have the planting area, the jacuzzi, all that good stuff. There's a there's a random pal bed here. There's a tree that grew here and things like to get caught on it, so this seemed like the most seamless way of just putting something down and things can walk over it uh, without having to worry about it respawning. So I'll show the workbench area here next. As you can see, you know, one of the things that I noticed was if you butt up the workbenches to each other, they really like to select recipe on one that you aren't even looking at. If you see how that changes, it's much worse when they're right next to each other. So definitely do some spacing. We just like to put some of the bonuses in between as, just whatever, easy to easy to do. Then we have a kitchen area here with a fridge and all that good stuff. I mean, I really don't think you need it too much. I wouldn't focus on that really. You can buy with berries pretty easily in this game, to be honest with you. So, uh, yeah, I mean, and this is the forge setup. So, nothing too special. Obviously, just the 2 forges with a box right here with the ingots and everything, and all of it was just really designed to make it the easiest on the pals and me. You don't have to go far when you're overweight with these to get to a box. Um, it's really easy to figure out how everything's spaced. So this is the living quarters, mostly the egg incubator area. So the big thing to keep in mind with this is the the eggs, like, I don't know if it's just buggy for me or what the deal is, but the hot and the cold and the bonuses on the egg speed is not the not the easiest thing to get right and have them actually work. So I just threw all the incubators around a fire, called it good. If it works on some, it works. If it doesn't, then whatever, we can wait. No, you can always break them down. We might not always have this many. We might break down a couple just to get some ancient civ parts back, but um, it is nice. If you're doing a breeding program, definitely have as many as you can handle and break down whatever you don't need because you obviously get mats back in this game. So as far as the sleeping quarters go, I mean, really not that big of a deal as long as you have a roof over your head. It's not like Valheim where you get bonuses or anything at least yet. So just made sure that there was some good storage around the beds, and then we called it good. So, but for the pal bed area, I would definitely recommend having at least this spacing on everything. I mean, I could have tightened it up, but again, the pathfinding's weird, so I want to make it as foolproof for them as possible. Okay, and then we have a kind of just a storage house. The valuables and things, you know, that we actually use a lot will go down into these, and that seems like plenty of spacing even for, you know, 3 people between all this. And I do like how they have the storages set up where there's a lot of cosmetic options, and really it makes a lot of sense, you know, when you put seeds and something that has like food on it and stuff. It just makes it easier mentally versus just a whole bunch of the same boxes. So that's another good thing to do. Up here we just kind of have, you know, a bunch of stuff we don't really use that much. But the other thing to keep in mind when you're making a base is we set it up so, you know, obviously you see these piles of ore here. You know, if you make your first base on a bunch of ore deposits, and I really made sure to build around it so that the chunk of the ore is right in front of this, where they have plenty of room to go and do it, and you know, I don't have to worry about making a second base just for ore. Definitely try and make yours around a couple of them. Then we just have a logging setup over here. We don't really use it that much. I mean, charcoal's so easy to get. And then I just have a power generator kind of out of the way. Base bonuses out of the way. The power seems to spread for the whole base when you put this down, so really anywhere that's just kind of out of the way and makes sense for your base, you know, put it wherever. But I liked it out of the way and on the other side like that. So yeah, that's the setup, and the only last thing I'd recommend is you can see how we have random foundations here. I promise you it's not for the looks of it. You know, with random divots in your base, you're gonna want to set it up so then they don't get caught on anything. I've seen birds that were caught in this crack. There was no, like, you know, it's just a small divot. It's not like it's just nothing under there, so you know, it's just weird things that they get caught on that we made sure to build over. And then at the pill box, put a chest next to it, so then when you're overweight and traveling, you just have something easy to dump into, and you know, maybe even make an area that has enough space to make sense for a storage bin. Because, you know, as you can see here, we have a lot of our heaviest materials in here. It's just right in the middle of the base. So, you know, it doesn't get as much, everything else doesn't get as much action as this chest here, so definitely do that so you don't have to slow walk everywhere, you know, super far from your fast travel to actually do this stuff. And last thing is we do have a condenser up here. Again, just out of the way where something can't clip on it, and just making the base as simple for them as possible, because I don't want to do the work, you don't want to do the work, just let them do the work of everything, and spend the time actually, you know, getting stuff that will work out well for your base. You know, having a Nubis with the handiwork and stuff like that. Having a couple of those are going to be huge in the late game when you've already gotten a lot of the materials you need. So then you can just go in here and pop what you need, and you know, he'll make it quickly for you. So, but yeah, that's about it.